As much as this movie is about life on the open road, I have to admit, I think this film gave me lung cancer because there wasn't a moment in this movie where someone didn't have a cigarette in their hands. Here are my immediate thoughts on the Bikeriders. The Bikeriders is the newest biodrama written and directed by Jeff Nichols, based off of Danny Lyon's 1967 photojournal book, The Bikeriders, which stars Tom Hardy, Austin Butler, and Jodie Comer. The Bikeriders depicts the lives of the Vandals, an outlaw motorcycle club founded in the late 1960s. Over the course of a decade, this Midwestern motorcycle club evolves from a gathering place for local outsiders to a sinister gang, threatening the original group's way of life. So, full disclosure, I know absolutely nothing about motorcycles, or engines for that matter. My dad is a retired mechanic, and the gearheads seem to have skipped a generation, so you have me instead. But still, I feel a weird kinship with this movie. My uncle, my dad's brother, unfortunately passed away in a motorcycle accident, and I don't talk about it a whole lot, but that still really haunts me because it was so sudden. And then I watch a movie like The Bikeriders and I wonder to myself, did he die doing what he loved? And that is sort of the entry point of the Bikeriders. We are introduced to this biker gang led by Johnny, played by Tom Hardy, who was inspired to start this motorcycle club by watching, of course, The Wild Ones with Marlon Brando, which that and Easy Riders are the two quintessential biker movies of all time. We're introduced to Benny, played by Austin Butler, who is essentially a motorcycle feed and has found a sense of belonging with the Vandals, and Jodie Comer as well, who is basically us. And she's the one who has to track this terrain of this crazy motorcycle gang where essentially anything goes. And The Bikeriders is an actor's movie. Tom Hardy, I have to admit, is at this stage of his career where he is getting by with what I call the Tom Hardy acting style, where he has grunts and sighs and half glances, and that's really what colors his performance. And he's kind of doing the same thing here with a weird Midwesternish, New Yorkish accent that I can't really decipher. I mean, it looks like this, and he's like, yeah, you kid. And in some movies, that acting style works for him, and then in others, it doesn't. Looking at you, Venom. I am happy to say that I did enjoy Tom Hardy as Johnny in The Bikeriders. Johnny is a family man, but at the same time, like a lot of the bikers in this group, the Vandals is basically his entire life and existence, and Tom Hardy carries the weight of being the leader of this biker gang really well. When the film begins, Johnny is full of life, riding, and even causing trouble, but by the end, dude is exhausted. Whether it's from infighting, rival biker gangs, or challengers to his leadership, whether it's by a knife fight or a fist fight. And Johnny is really the heart and soul of the Vandals, and I believe Tom Hardy pulled that off really well. Austin Butler as Benny is good, but again, we have an acting style that is directly tied to the actor himself, and Austin Butler has got that smoldering look that makes women swoon, and he does that a lot in this movie. There's a reserved nature to Benny's character. He doesn't express a whole lot except when he is actually riding, and there was a time during the movie that I was like, I don't know if I'm getting all I need out of Austin Butler's character as Benny, but then a particular moment occurred and then the light bulb went off and I was like, okay, I understand why Benny was so reserved for the majority of this movie to lead up to this particular moment. And it was very powerful that I really appreciated the care and detail to attention to make Benny a fully fleshed out three-dimensional character by the end of the Bikeriders. The performance that stole the show for me was Jodie Comer as Kathy, Benny's eventual wife. Kathy is being interviewed at different stages in her life by Danny Lyon, who's played by Mike Faist, who I just saw in Challengers. Kathy is naive, but she is strong-willed. She doesn't take any shit from anybody. And we get to see through her all the chaos that erupts in this gang. And that made me totally anxious at various moments in this picture, especially one absolutely harrowing moment where I really believe the worst was really about to happen. And Comer and Jeff Nichols do such a great job of making you feel truly terrified for her. And this is the moment as well that you see the biker gang start to split apart. But Comer's performance was fucking excellent. And I don't know why, but at times she reminded me of Winona Ryder, but that's neither here nor there. Speaking of Mike Faist, he plays photojournalist Danny Lyon, and I did enjoy him in the movie. He plays more of a background player, but I do appreciate how the film integrated him into the movie, whether at times he was in the forefront interviewing people. The interview he does with Michael Shannon's character is hilarious. Or if he's just in the background, just snapping pics and taking notes. Jeff Nichols was able to find a great balance to have Danny Lyon in the picture without diverting focus away from the actual subjects, which are the Vandals themselves. The other supporting characters in the Bikeriders are great in this movie, and this reminds me of an Ingmar Bergman picture just because Ingmar Bergman loved to shoot faces. And the Bikeriders is a casting director's dream because they get to look at all these great weathered character actor faces and cast based on that alone. Michael Shannon and Norman Reedus are great in this. Michael Shannon plays a biker who really doesn't know the definition of an insult that he uses at people that he considers college educated. And Norman Reedus plays this California hippie that just kind of pops up out of nowhere and then decides, yeah, I like you guys. I'm just gonna hang out here. But this is a movie full of great little supporting performances, and what is most important about all of this is that the environment and the atmosphere based off all of these performances and the production from Jeff Nichols is that everything felt truly real and authentic, and you really felt like you were with these bikers and you were just totally immersed in their world. This is a gorgeous movie to look at. Jeff Nichols and cinematographer Adam Stone worked together to create a real snapshot of this time period. And I don't know if it's just me, but it felt like there was a little bit of a green tint to kind of give the feel of the 60s and 1970s. We follow these bikers on their choppers and we just get to see the absolute joy they feel riding their motorcycles, and everything from the production design and the costume design, the streets, the interiors of the houses, the motorcycles themselves, everything really felt accurate to the time period. And then there's just the story itself of the Vandals. And Jeff Nichols was able to craft a picture that even for me, who is not a gearhead and knows nothing about motorcycles, was still able to understand why these guys love what they do, and I was still completely immersed in their world. Overall, The Bikeriders is a very strong film, bolstered by some great performances, specifically that of Jodie Comer. Jeff Nichols is able to cinematically present a world that may be very unfamiliar to a lot of people in a way that audiences can understand. Maybe I can't figure out where a wrench goes to repair 100 miles an hour of jet rocket fuel between my legs, but I understand people trying to find a place to belong to when everywhere else rejects them. And that is ultimately what the Bikeriders is all about. This group of individuals who try to find some meaning within the biker gang they are affiliated with, and I definitely was picking up what this movie was putting down. I greatly enjoyed the Bikeriders. This is a super hit for me. So I'm at the age where I should be having a midlife crisis, but I'm not really into motorcycles. I'm more into something like a 1958 Plymouth Fury. What did you think of the Bikeriders? Did you enjoy the picture? Share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.